And we are back to the channel where we talk about everything US markets, US headlines, and we make it fun, we make it educational, and we're going to get into everything, not just the headlines, but also we're going to get into the analytics, the fundamentals, the chart patterns, the indicators, etc., etc. And we promise not to bore you. So here we go. Let's do this. We've got many things on board for today. One of the things that we're going to talk about is Nebius. And just to make it brief, Nebius stocks jumped up 14% on the news that NVDA had a $2 billion investment in the AI cloud company. They're going to collaborate with them. Another headline that we're going to talk about is Meta. This is a big one because Meta rolls out an in-house AI chips after massive NVIDIA AM deals. And Meta revealed 4 custom in-house chips tailored for AI-related tasks as part of the company's data center expansion plans. So that's coming up. Also, we're going to get into Google. Google for several reasons. One reason, Google has also been developing their own in-house silicon to fill data centers as they seek an alternative to cost supply constrained GPUs from NVIDIA and AMD. That's part of the reason. Another reason we'll talk about Google is because Google has a G fiber unit. Let me show you that one. Where is that? Right here. Yeah. Google has a G fiber unit, and it's combining with Astound broadband and forming independent fiber, and it will be majority owned by Stone Peak. Let me put that over here. Where's my Meta. Yeah, we'll put that right over here. Yeah, so that's one of the reasons we're talking about Google. Another topic we have is Amazon. Why? Because their robo-taxi company Zoox is partnering with Uber, and Uber is going to reach more robo-taxi riders. Right now, they've already first started in Las Vegas. Then they're going to go to LA, and Zoox is making it it's toaster shaped. Let me show you. I'll show this. It's kind of funny. Where is it? Right here. You'll see it right behind me. It really does look like a toaster, right? It's like, but they're bread inside. Anyway, I'm just kidding. It's a toaster-shaped self-driving vehicle available through Uber. So Zoox is partnering up with Uber. We'll talk about that. Also, we'll talk about a little bit of the CPI, Consumer Price Index, or as some people say, CPI, because does this thing really tell the truth? I'm not so sure, right? But it rose 2.4% annually, basically a 12-month inflation rate of 2.4%, and it talks about which things went up and how much. So that's a little bit about that. Also, we'll talk about Accumulation. Accumulation. Why are we going to talk about Accumulation? Because they just slashed 10% of their workforce, which equates to about 1,600 jobs, to self-fund investments in AI and enterprise sales. Yeah, basically because of AI, they're slashing a bunch of jobs. Their shares have lost more than half their value this year as part of software sell-off, and now that they sold off for AI, they jumped up about 1% there. Also, we will touch a little bit on this one. Oil prices. Oil prices touch $100 as Iran ramps up shipping attacks. So we're not a political channel. We're just giving you the information there. But yeah, we'll be talking a little bit about oil. All that coming up in this stream and more. So if you have a ticker that you want, or if you have a topic you want to ask about, let me know, and we can either analyze the ticker or talk about the topic. Let's have some fun. All right, here we go. So Nebius, where are you? Right here. Okay. To go deeper into this one, Nebius jumps up. Let me see if I can put this on the ticker on TradingView. Nebius right here. Dun dun dun. For example, Ben likes sounds fun. Sorry, I missed your messages over here. I'll get to them. Yes, Ben likes. Hello, Ben likes. Good to have you here. Let's see. At Klunza, let's gamble. All right. Yes, it sounds fun. Let's see. Klunza, you mentioned GameStop. Okay, is that something you want me to look up, or why did you mention GameStop? Let me know. Because if that's a ticker, I can do that. Okay. So let me make a note of that. And Trent Alexander, hello to you too. Yeah. So yes, okay, Clunes, I got you. Okay, no problem. Once I start getting into that, you'll be that'll be the first one on the list. Okay. But anyway, here is Nebius. That's one we're going to be talking about right there. So their stock pops 14% on NVIDIA, $2 billion investment in the AI cloud company. They're going to collaborate with AI infrastructure design and support. And NVIDIA will also give Nebius early access to the newest generation computing platform, and they will deploy more than 5 gigawatts of capacity by 2030. And together, they are scaling the cloud to meet global demand for AI. So AI is taking over the world. Big Dog, hello to you too. Yeah, so good to have all of you here. And all right, let's go into some chart analysis. Before we do in Nebius, I promised to do GameStop real fast. So we'll do GameStop real fast, and then we'll go do Nebius. Okay, so here is, for example, I want to show you this. If you look behind me, this is the one-day chart. We can do GameStop for, this is the one day. Let me adjust the timing a little bit here on this. Here, and then let me adjust the, okay. And then here is the 1 minute. The 1 minute for GameStop. I put these on different times so you can see the differences in the chart patterns, how they come out, okay? Let me adjust these a little bit to make them, and then I'll adjust. There. So as you can see behind me, this is a trading view. This screen's got 1 minute. This screen's got the 1 day. So here we go. The person asked about GameStop. I think that was you, Klunza. Here we go. Just a little bit of news on GameStop. In TradingView, the headline says Ryan Cohen, CEO Ryan Cohen criticizes risk-free corporate insiders. And now, let's see, just to give you a little bit of info. Here's the if you can see down here, right behind me, this is the RSI. You can see my marker right there, or maybe you cannot. Yeah, right here, you can see it. I'm trying to find a way to make it you can see it easier. And then right there, right here, that's the 30 line. Here's the 70 line. Here's the 30 line. One is overbought, one is oversold. What I want you to realize is just use that as a guide, not actually a sure thing. Because as you can see, they go way overbought right there before they ever actually market correct and come down, or they can go way oversold, like it does down there, way oversold before market corrects and comes down. So as you see, where is it? As you can see, GameStop right there. Here we go. GameStop just came down from being overbought at 91, super overbought, and it's right here sitting at 71 thereabouts. And you can see GameStop just jumped up. Here we go, as you can see in their price chart right there. And let's see, yeah. Now again, let's look at some quick chart patterns for GameStop as I pull this out for you. Zayden, hello, good to have you. And let me show you this. Here is, if you see my little blue marker right there, and this one, this is a double bottom. You see my circle, double bottom. Zayden, hello. And you can see right here, bang, it jumps up. So a double bottom, it comes down and the sellers lose momentum. And the sellers lose momentum, the buyers take over, bang, it goes up. You can see that. Another one you can see is also the opposite is true. Right here, you see right there, those two tops right there, you see that? That's what we call a double top. And so the buyers lose momentum. They can't keep it up and they try again, and then the sellers take over, bang, they bring it down. So that's an example of a double top right there. Again, this is the 1 minute. If you go at the 1 day, you'll see different patterns pop out easier. It depends on what your time is. You'll be able to see different patterns on different times, easier or more difficult. Here's one I want to show you right here. This is another common one. Here's your head right here. Here's your left shoulder. Here's your right shoulder, head, left shoulder, right there. And this is the neckline breakout. You can see that in green, my green crayon right there. Let's see, Zayden, hi. I'm getting your messages here. Hold on. Sorry, hi Zayden, Yeah, you sent me a bunch of highs. What are you doing? I'm looking, I'm analyzing GameStop on TradingView right now. Hope you enjoy it. If you have a ticker, let me know, I'll get it later. Everyone who's joining, welcome. This is the channel where we talk about everything US markets, US headlines, and we do the analysis on TradingView. So, and with this here, we're talking about the chart patterns, double, how do you say, this is the head and shoulders. Head and shoulders, if it breaks out, it'll break out and go down. There's also other patterns I'll be showing you. Again, here is if you can see this one right here, boom, dun. If you can see that, that's the double bottom. You see the double bottom there, anyone who's watching, and it breaks out and goes up. I think this is for you, Clara. You're the one that asked, I think. And let me see if I can give you another one real quick. Which ones jump out the easiest? Let's see. Come on, GameStop, give me something. Yes. Oh, here, you can also see, here's another double bottom, bang, right here. See that double bottom? Bang. There you go. Klunza, yes. Okay, it was you. Just wanted to make sure. And you're welcome. Hopefully this is somehow beneficial to you. Yeah. And later on in the program, if you have another one, you can always ask. If you look right here, I'll change this to my green crayon. Here's another one. You see this head right there, and then here's a shoulder. Here's a shoulder right there. Here's your neckline right there. If you can, if you see that right there, there's your shoulder. There's your head, left shoulder, right shoulder, and then there's the neckline. And there's not much of a breakout, just a little bit, but I wanted to show you that anyway, just so you have an idea. And now that's that. Let me go over here to done. Yeah, that's okay. That's some good chart patterns right there for now. Let's go to some other ones. Just so you have an idea, I'll get more into this later on. But since you asked, Klunza, I just want to give you this to think about for now. Moving average convergence divergence. I know that's a mouthful, but basically call it the MACD. And if you look right here, let me bring this up a little bit. MACD. Right here in the center, this blue, basically this is the blue line right here. If you can see that, maybe I'll give you a different one. Yeah, but yeah. For example, here, if you can see that my arrow right there, that's where the blue line, the MACD, crosses the red signal line going up. When it crosses the red signal line going up, you will see an upward chart pattern here. And when it crosses going down, you'll see a downward chart pattern there. So bear that in mind. It's again, it's based on history, but and it's also just a guide. One of the things about the MACD is it's always, well, not always, but oftentimes has a lag time. You'll be able to see that the more you use it, it has less of a lag time when there's more price action, more price change, and it has more lag time when has less price action. So bear that in mind. I'll get into more of that later, but just wanted you to be aware of that MACD indicator and also the relative strength index indicator right there. And again, these are just guides to be aware of and not take for face value, but that's it right there. Yeah, hopefully that's helpful. Let's go, Klunza, now we're gonna go to the, I wanted to show you this before I go to the fundamentals. Be aware of this too. I'm zooming in so you can see this better. My arrow, you see where my arrow is right here, right there? That's called the volume, the trading volume. You see how there's more trading volume there than like over here? Well, that's because there's more price action here than, over here. So be aware, like, if the trading volume is going up, that oftentimes means that there is more price action. So be aware of that. It's like, you can also see over here, some of the trading bars, like here, that arrow, this arrow here, if you can see that, those are also high trade volume days. And you can see there's price action on those days as well. So just something to think about. So right now the volume is at 5.15 million, and the market capitalization for GameStop is at 10.9 billion. If we go here to the fundamentals, again, you'll see you have a quarterly and an annually button right there. There's annually and there's quarterly. We can look at them both. But here for GameStop, you can see right here, my cursor's over it. Q3, the blue bar is actually the recorded earnings, what was actually recorded. The gray bar is what was predicted, by the Wall Street analysts. So you can see that Q3 and Q2 and Q1 for GameStop all exceeded the expectations, which shows some kind of strength in the company, right? They did better than what the analysts on Wall Street thought they would. Go to annual, and annual, for example, right here, annually, 2024. This is for the year now, not the quarter, for the year. 2024 did better than expected, and then see right there, my cursor's on it. 2023, however, did less than they were expected. So 2023 looked like a weak year. 2024 was strong. 2022, however, did better. Even though it's negative, you see how it's negative there? It's less negative than it was supposed to be. So it still exceeded expectations, okay? Now, also, if we go here to, so that's the earnings. So you can have good earnings or bad earnings. And let's check out the statements. Why did we check out the statements? Because this is where the revenue, the profit, and income shows up. You're earning money, but is it actually Daishy 7, our stock's going to continue falling. Well, it always depends. What stocks are you talking about? Because there's always stocks that go up and there's always stocks that go down. But again, this is an educational channel. I stay away from making any recommendations. I don't give forecasts, stuff like that. What I do here on this channel is I give you the information that you can use to make your own predictions and own decisions, and hopefully that's where I add value to you. Yeah, Klunza, no problem. I'm happy to help. And Dashi 7. Hopefully, by giving you these information and these tools, you can decide for yourself if the stocks you're looking at are going to go up or go down. If there's a particular one you want, Dashi, just let me know. I can analyze it here later on in this stream. But Klunza, to finish up with you on GameStop, click the annual button on these statements, and you'll see that. What is this stuff? I wouldn't. Remember, Klunza, I just said I don't give recommendations, etc., etc. I just give the information, and then so if there is a stock that you would like me to look at, on TradingView, that's something I can do. But I don't give out the recommendations. So looking here, no problem. I'm just trying to, because there's an algorithm. For example, there's only certain things I can say on the algorithm without getting the channel dinged. So I have to keep it educational. Yeah, like you could potentially go down more. Yeah, Dashi 7. Actually, NVIDIA is on my list because I have a whole list of news to go over today, and NVIDIA is in the news. So I don't. Yeah, no problem, Klunza. I don't actually talk from the script. I talk from my own notes. I encourage all of you to take notes as well. So that's where I'm coming from. All right, just to finish up here, let's see. Glad you understand and glad you're okay, Klunza. 2020. If you're looking here at annually, 2024 for GameStop, operating income, pre-tax income, and net income were all in the green, all looking good. However, total revenue and gross profit were red. So it depends on which pieces of information are most important to you. If you look at 2023, here on TradingView, you'll see very similar. 2023 also had bad total revenue and bad gross profit, but their operating income and pre-tax income and net income were all good. Very similar again for 2022 as well. So having said that, hopefully this is helpful to you. You can choose the information, the bits that are most important. It's all important, but it's all about how you choose these things to make your decisions. Also, some people enjoy seeing the forecast. I personally do not. But if you want to see the forecast, here it is. This is just GameStop based on one analyst. For the past 3 months, they give a neutral. Again, I don't look at this much, but just showing you there if you want it. Let's see. Anyway, okay, that's GameStop. Let's go back to the one we were looking at, which is Nebius. And hold on, let me see. Let me clean this out. And here we go. Clean. This is Nebius. Yeah, I'm changing over to Nebius now because that's the one that was in the news that we were talking about. And here we are. Nebius right here. Klunza, you're welcome. You're welcome anytime. If there's another ticker you want, feel free to ask. I'll be getting, let's see, Dashi 7, I'll be getting your NVIDIA here later on in the stream. Yeah, because I have them, I thought I had them for something. I'll look them up anyway. But okay, here we are. Nebius. A little bit about Nebius. Nebius is a Netherlands-based AI native cloud platform specializing in providing high-performance GPU infrastructure for training and deploying artificial AI models. Formerly part of Yandex, the company rebranded and focuses on building large-scale factories and providing cloud services, recently securing a major $2 billion with partnership. Yes, actually, that's one of the reasons I was looking at NVIDIA. I forgot. Nebius is the, Petty. This is the channel where we talk about everything US markets, US headlines. We also break it down on TradingView as far as the analysis, the chart patterns, the fundamentals, indicators, etc. So we also try to make it fun. So basically, it's an educational channel made fun. And you can also request to see certain tickers if you want. Yeah, Petty, no problem. You're welcome. You can add us to take notes. No, like you can if you want. Again, if there's certain things on here that are interesting to you, you can take notes if you want. But again, maybe you'll just see some things that you didn't know about before, or hear some headlines you didn't know about, or you'll see some, chart patterns about those, or learn how to use the indicators. It's all about how you want to do it. Again, this is for you. I never enjoyed school much, but because they made it so boring. So my point is here, I try to make this interesting, and you can do with it what you want, and you have the freedom for that. So enjoy it. So this is, where is it? Nebius right here. So Nebius, stock pops 14%. And again, here's my notes. Yes. So there you go. Not a script at all. But so they jumped up 14% on NVIDIA with their $2 billion investment in the AI cloud company, and they will collaborate on AI infrastructure design and support. NVIDIA will also give Nebius early access to newest generation computing platform, and they will deploy more than 5 gigawatts of capacity by 2030. So together, they are scaling the cloud to meet global demand for AI. Yeah. And AI seems to be in the news every day for every different thing. Yes. And if you're joining, welcome. This is the channel where we talk about everything US markets, US headlines. We break it down on TradingView, and we make it fun and interesting, hopefully. So here we are. Yeah. Here's a quick update on TradingView. If you look at TradingView, like right behind me, there's the update part right there. It said, they jumped up 16% after the $2 billion pledge from NVIDIA. Again, here's something I wanted to show you right here. If you're looking at my TradingView right here, here's the 70 line. Again, that's the 70 line. That's the overbought. This is the oversold. And again, these are just guides. These are not to be taken. These are not to be taken for face value, because they can go way overbought or way oversold for a while before they ever market correct and come down, or market correct and go up. So that's just a guide. It's just a line. They can help you in your decision making. And as you'll see here, I have my this chart is on 1 minute, and this chart is on 1 day. Let me adjust this so you can see it better. Here's the bring this down and then bring this up right here where you can see. There we go. That makes a little more sense. This is the 1 day chart, and this is the 1 minute chart right there. And okay, looking right here, you can see RSI, for example, sitting right here. Maybe there's a glare in the way, but the RSI right now is about at 64. Remember, 64 is not overbought, it's not even close. It's just it shows a higher RSI because the chart right there is high. Yeah, see right here, here's your 64. And Nebius right there is climbed, you know, it's where it says it jumped up 14% because of the investment, and that's where you see that jump up right there. Now, and you see, for example, let me put this where you can see it. Here, where's my arrow? Right here, the MACD, right there, the MACD, where can you see, where's my, yeah, right here. The MACD line crosses the red signal line going up, and therefore right here, you can see that's where the price chart goes up right there. And let me show you some chart patterns right here. Bring this over here a little bit. And if you look at the 1 minute or 1 day, you'll see different patterns jump out, and that would be different from the 1 minute time. Here we are. So if we zoom in on this, hold on, let me change this right there. Yeah. Okay, now looking at this, here's one that jumps out at me right here. Blue crayon, here's that reverse head right there. If you see my circle, the green crayon. Reverse head, here's the left shoulder, here's the right shoulder. Here's your neckline, kind of a diagonal neckline. It's not like it's a straight neckline. Sometimes they are diagonal like that. But what I want you to see is there's a neckline, and then here, bang, it does break out and go up, okay? And then let me show you another one that's a little bit more clear. Again, over here, here's your head right here. You can see that. And then there's the head, and then here, this is your left shoulder, this is the right shoulder right there, left shoulder, right shoulder. Here is the neckline. There's the neckline, and you can see it does break out and go down a little bit right there. I'll draw an arrow for that. Breaks out and goes down right there. You can see that arrow breaking the neckline. That's what that is for. Yeah, there we go. And let me grab some water real fast, actually. And let's see, if there are other tickers you want me to look up, or if you have a question or comment, be free to ask. Here we are. For example, right here, you can kind of see this top and this top right there come to the same place. So this is basically a double top. And then right here, dun, 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 right there, you can see the double top, and then right here, it breaks out and goes down. Breaks the neckline and goes down, if you can see that. Welcome to everyone joining, where we talk about U.S. markets, U.S. headlines, and we make it fun. We're looking at Nebius on TradingView right now. Thank you for the likes, Shen, I appreciate it. Let me know if you have a ticker that you want to be analyzed. Here we go. And then right here, here's another one. For example, here is the here's the head, left shoulder, right shoulder. Here's your neckline, right head, left shoulder, right shoulder, neckline right there. And you can see it does break out and go down. Let me give you another one that's trying to be a little bit more fun. Let's go to the 1 day chart. Let's see what jumps out on the 1 day chart. Let's see, for example, yeah, on the 1 day chart, right here, you can see how here's a top, and you can see right there. See the top? See the top? Both those tops come to about the same line, and then bang, right there. It's a small breakout, but it is still the chart pattern. Again, these chart patterns don't always break out a lot. Sometimes they just break out a little bit, so you can be aware of that. And again, this is the 1 day chart. So sometimes it's easier to see patterns here than on the 1 minute. Here, if you look right here, here's your right here, here's your head. Right there, there's a head. And then if you look right there on the left, there's a little shoulder right there, shoulder. And then right there is your neckline. And you can see right here, bang, it breaks out past the neckline, goes down, right? There you go. Yes, welcome everyone who's joining. This is the channel where we talk about everything U.S. markets, U.S. headlines. We make it fun. And right now we're analyzing Nebius because it's in the headlines right now because they just made a deal with NVDA. So here's Nebius, and right now I'll take you back over here to the beginning just to show you. I want you to see this part right here. With all this price action here, you see a lot more price action right here with you see the trading volume. There's more trading volume because there's more price action. You also see more trading volume over there too. There's a lot more price action there. So right now volume is at 34.8 million and market cap is at 28.19 billion. Okay, and if we go here to earnings side, earnings, you have the annual and you have the quarterly. Quarterly right now, we can look at that, but it's better to look at annually because annual gives you more information. So for example, right here, Q4 of 2025, Q4 of 2025 was actually a positive quarter because it was less negative than it was supposed to be. Even though it was negative, it was less negative. Same thing with Q3. Q3 was less negative than it was supposed to be. So again, all three of these quarters for Nebius are positive because they were less negative than they were supposed to be. So what that means is the earnings were higher, were better than they were expected to be. Annually, if we click the annual button for Nebius right there, 2025, actually on the year, you see that it was more negative than it was supposed to be. So 2025 as a year was not a good year for earnings. The same thing with 2024. However, 2023 was a good year for earnings because they got more than was expected of them. Let's see. Welcome to everyone who's joining. This is a channel where we talk about everything U.S. markets. Looking here at Nebius on TradingView because Nebius just struck a deal with NVIDIA. So here we are. Let me grab my glasses. My eyes are getting a little bit sore from all the blue light. These are not, sunglasses. These are for the blue light from the screens here. My eyes are getting a little bit sore. So here, click the annual button when you're looking at the statements. When you're looking, this is Nebius looking at 2025. 2025 was not a good year. The only thing it was good for was total revenue. Otherwise, gross profit, operating income, pre-tax income, and net income, it was all negative. Same thing with 2024. It was not a good year. You can see total revenue, gross profit, that was green, that was good, but the other categories like income, net income were negative. 2023 was a terrible year. Everything was negative there. So there's that. Nebius. Now, let's see, who was it? Somebody asked me about NVIDIA. Let's do that one next, okay? Because NVIDIA was the one that made this deal with Nebius, okay? So why not? NVIDIA right here, okay? So here's NVIDIA. Let me adjust the timing on this so it's better. And oh gosh, hold on one second. I'm adjusting the timing on this. There we go. and then here change the ticker to NVDA Corporation. There we go. So here we are, NVIDIA and okay, now we're looking at NVIDIA. This is the 1 minute chart, and this is the 1 day chart. So looking at 1 minute, I'll show you that, for example, right now, looking at the RSI right here is sitting at, you can see that right there, sitting about 75. So NVIDIA is in the overbought section, be aware of that, but that doesn't mean it can't still go up, because it sure can. Remember, the RSI is just a guide, and here is NVIDIA's price chart continuing to rise and rise and rise. And as you can see, for example, let's look here. Here's a chart pattern for you. You can see right here is a double top, and then right here it changes and goes down. So right there you have a double top, and then it drops down right there. So double top, drops down. Also, you can see here's a small one, but it still does break out a little bit. This is a reverse. Here's your reverse head. Reverse head, left shoulder, right shoulder. There's your neckline right here. And you see kind of a diagonal neckline, but nonetheless, it still does bang. It still does break out, right? And let's see. I want you to notice, let me clear this up. I want you to notice right here, as there's more price action right there. See my arrow, all the price action going up. There is also more trading volume here. So trading volume often follows with price action, okay? And here we go. NVIDIA, let me see if I can get you some other fun patterns. Oh, here's one. Check out this. Okay, here's your double bottom right here. And how do you know sometimes if it's a double bottom or not? Well, one of the things that's helpful is that they both come to the same point. You see right there, my green crayon, they both come to the same point, right there and then right there. That's a good example of a double bottom. It comes down to the same point, not once, but twice, and then here you can see kind of the bang, it goes up right there. Bottoms out and goes up. And then, let's see, what's another one I can show you? Yeah, actually this looks also like a, actually this one, if you get the bigger picture of this, let me go to the 1 day chart. Let's see what patterns emerge over here on the 1 day. Maybe we can get some interesting stuff here. Sometimes yes, sometimes no, but it's worth a try. For example, if you look here, this is NVIDIA. Here's your head right here. Here's your left shoulder. Here's your right shoulder. Head, left shoulder, right shoulder. You see that? And then right here, there's your neckline right there. Head, left shoulder, right shoulder, neckline. And here, bang, it breaks out and goes down. Breaks out, bang, and goes down. There you go. And right here is a very good example right here. Let me circle this. Here's your head. Here's your double head. And this is a head and shoulders, and here is your neckline right here. Head and shoulders, and here's your neckline. And then it does, you can see, bang, it breaks out and goes down. So Mixer online, Lucas, thank you very much for the likes. Good to have you here. If you have a question about a ticker, or we're doing everything US markets, US headlines, and analyzing them on TradingView. So let me know if you have something. Let's go over here. This is NVIDIA. Back to the beginning. Again, one of the things that I'll show you also here is that with this price action right here, you see that price action, you have the higher trading volume bars right there, right? So right now for NVIDIA, trading volume is at 145 million, and market cap is at 4.5 trillion. Yes. And if we go down here to the fundamentals, again, quarterly or annually, you can look at them both right there. Let's see. Okay, quarterly, annually, you can look at them both right here. And what you'll see is that right here, put my cursor over it. The blue bar is actually higher than the gray bar. The blue bar represents the amount of earnings that was recorded. So there's the recorded earnings and there's the predicted earnings. The predicted earnings is the gray part, okay? Recorded earnings is the blue part. When you actually record more earnings than it was predicted, that looks very, very strong for the company. So keep that in mind. Same thing Q3. The blue part was higher, so the recorded earnings were higher, and so that looks strong for the company. NVIDIA, Q2, the same thing. Look at annually. Annually, you'll see that, here's my cursor, 2025 right here. Annually, the reported earnings were higher for the year as well, and also 2024, recorded earnings were higher as well. Same with 2023. So, if you're looking at NVIDIA, and one of the things you are concerned with about the company is their earnings, this should answer that question. What was their earnings for the quarter? What was their earnings for the year? It just depends on which pieces of information you, as the person, are most concerned about and most worried about. So, welcome to the channel where we talk about everything U.S. markets, U.S. headlines, and we analyze it on TradingView. Here we're looking at NVIDIA because NVIDIA just got the deal with Nebius for the $2 billion investment with the AI cloud company. Here we're looking at profit revenue now. And you'll see that for NVIDIA, you can see right behind me, all 3 years, 2023, 2024, 2025, all those columns for revenue, gross profit, operating income, pre-tax income, and net income were all green, all looking good. Yes. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the likes. Welcome to the channel. If you have a question or a ticker you want, let me know. But yeah, so not only for NVIDIA do the revenues and income looks good, but also the earnings looks good as well. So there's that. Again, I don't look at the forecast much, but if you want to, that's the forecast right there, and that's the forecast and that's the rating. But I don't put too much stock into that. So yeah, let's go. That's NVIDIA and Nebius. Let's go on to Meta. Why are we taking a look at Meta? Because Meta is also in the news right now. Here is Meta. Okay, why is Meta in the news? Okay, here it is. So here's the headline. Meta rolls out the in-house AI chips weeks after massive NVIDIA and AMD deals. So let me give you more of a deep dive into this. Again, this is not a script. This is my notes for the day. Okay, so Meta rolls out this in-house AI chips, and Meta revealed four custom in-house chips tailored for AI-related tasks as part of the company's data center expansion. And the specialized silicon is part of the Meta Training and Inference Accelerator, MTIA. Basically, it's a family of chips, and by designing custom chips, which are then made by Taiwan Semiconductor, TSMC, Meta can squeeze more price per performance across its data center fleet rather than relying on only vendors. It also provides more diversity for silicon supply and insulates the firm from price changes. And Meta's AI spending spree also includes more data centers in Louisiana and also one in Ohio and Indiana. And they're looking to lease space at Stargate in Texas after OpenAI and Oracle scrapped their expansion plans there. So Meta is no stranger to data centers and future plans. Now, having said that, Google has also been developing their own in-house silicon to fill data centers as they seek an alternative to cost, supply constrained GPUs from NVIDIA and AMD. So there's a little bit about what Meta is doing right now, why they're in the news. So let's take a look at them, okay? If you have a ticker that you want me to look up, let me know. Here is okay, here we are. This is Meta, and this is Meta on the 1 minute time frame. Yeah, you can see it right here. And this is also Meta on the 1 day. This is the 1 day time frame right here. We're looking on both because different time frames release different chart patterns. Okay. And for example, right here. Here's the RSI. RSI right there is sitting at about 65 right there. You can see the RSI relative strength index if you're following from home. Trading View Meta. Remember the relative strength index, you have these general idea. They have the 70 line and you have the 30 line right there. This is the 70, this is the 30. The 70 generally is overbought, 30 is generally oversold. But remember, they can go way overbought and way oversold before the market correct and come down, or market correct and go up. So keeping all that in mind, let's take a look here. And you can see right now on the price chart for right here, for Meta, right here, bang. You can see the price chart's going up, and that's also why you see down here the relative strength index also goes up. And right, let's see, yeah. Also, you'll notice that the MACD line, for example, right here, the MACD, moving average convergence divergence, the MACD line, the blue line, when it crosses that red signal line going up, you also see like right here, the increase in the price chart right there, okay? Now, for example, let's look at some chart patterns right here. Here's one. You see how right here, this bottom and this bottom come back down to about the same, this bottom to about the same place. That's the double bottom chart pattern, and you can see it goes up, right? So double bottom and it goes up. That's what that's supposed to do, okay? And let's go over here. Let's see. Oh, when you zoom in on this, you can kind of see this one. This is looking to be a, here's your head, and here's your left shoulder, here's your right shoulder. This is an interesting one. So here's your head, left shoulder, right shoulder, and you can see right here, welcome everyone who's joining. This is an educational channel for everyone who's wanting to learn about the US markets. We talk about the headlines, we talk about the analysis, we go through it all. We're looking at Meta right now on TradingView because Meta is in the news. Here's your headline, rolls out in-house AI chips. And we're looking at Meta on, we have two different time frames, so 1 minute and 1 day. And right there you see the head and shoulders and the breakout going down. There's that. And then over here, here we are. Let me see if I can give you another interesting one. It jumps out. Sometimes they jump out on the 1 day, sometimes they jump out on the 1 minute differently. Here is, oh, here's a good one right here. Basically, this is a, here's your reverse head. So I showed you a head and shoulders. Now this is the reverse head. And then this is the left shoulder. This is the right shoulder. And then this is the neckline. Reverse, left shoulder, right shoulder, neckline. And then right here, bang, it breaks out. Left shoulder, right shoulder. That's the reverse. And the reverse head and shoulder goes up. The normal head and shoulders goes down. So that's the breakout pattern that you're looking for, okay? And again, here's a little bit of a, these head and shoulder patterns don't always line up perfectly. Sometimes they're hunched over, sometimes they're diagonal. Here's one I can show you right here. Here's the left shoulder, right shoulder, and reverse head right here. Diagonal neckline, you can see that. Here's the shoulders. They're not exactly straight, but that they don't always have to be. And so this one does, you can see it breaks the neckline right here and goes up a little bit right there. You see that? Yeah, very good. Yes. So if you do have a ticker that you want me to look at, let me know. That's a little bit about Meta. Let's see if this is the 1 day. For example, here on the 1 day. Oh yeah, here's a nice one. This is on the 1 day pattern. If you go here on the 1 day, you see right here, this really jumps out. Head and shoulders right here, right there, bang. That's a nice one, head and shoulders, and it breaks out and goes down. That's an easy one to see. That's why I say sometimes it's easier to see them on the 1 day, sometimes it's easier to see on the 1 minute. Yes. Jack's Way, thank you very much for the likes. Hope you're enjoying this. If you guys have something you want me to analyze, let me know. Enjoy the channel. This is an educational channel. We're not here to sell or persuade or do anything. Yeah, let's see. Here is a, this is on a 1 day. You can see this one right here. Here's the top. Here's the top. And right over here. Boom. There's the double top. There's the neckline, and then bang, there's the breakout right there. Okay. Jack's Way, thank you for taking time out of your day to explain. Yeah, no problem, Jack's Way. Thanks for taking time out of your day to say thank you. I appreciate that. Good stuff. Let's see. If there's anything else you need, Jack's Way, let me know. Here we are. Let's see. Oh, here's one down here. It's a little bit hard to see. Again, this is on the 1 day, but let me change this so you can see it better. Bring this down right here. This, let me show you. It's hard to see, but here's the reverse head. See the reverse head right there? And then here's the left. Here's the right there. And then there's the neckline. And then here, the neckline, bang, and goes up right there, okay? Neckline breakout on the reverse head and shoulders. Nersal, hola, hola, yes. ¿Cómo está? Yes, or ¿Cómo estás? I forget which one I'm supposed to say. I know there's a difference, but I forget which one. But anyway, yes, welcome to the channel. This is the fun channel. We promise not to bore you. We promise to talk about the U.S. markets and make it fun. And here's another one. Reverse, left shoulder, right shoulder. Here's your neckline, and then here is your neckline breakout right there. If you can see that, yes. Yeah. All right. Now those are some patterns for you. Let me go back to the beginning here. Yes. Put this. Zoom out on this right here. Okay, now there's that. Here's also what I wanted to show you. Okay, and also, if you see right here, again, some of these lines right here, you see my arrow right there? That's showing you the trading volume lines. So the trading volume lines go up when there's more price action, like right here, lots of price action. Again, let me put this up right here. See right here, these volume lines, more trading volume because there's more price action, yes. And then right here on Meta, you see the RSI is sitting here very neutrally at 48. You see that on the relative strength index, 48. Remember, 48 is very, very neutral. This area, I'll box this in, this area right in here, this area is the neutral area where you have a lot of consolidation. There's an invisible ceiling, invisible floor right there. You'll have the resistance and the support. That's what that's kind of for right there. And that's why up here in the price chart, you'll see The same thing right here. It's not going up or down. It's kind of staying the same. Yeah, there's that. So let's move on here a little bit. Okay. Yeah. So going on here. A little bit of news here. If you look right here, right here on the bottom right, where my finger is right here, that's the you can see some news right there on TradingView. So one of the news things is for Meta, they filed for 30 billion in bonds in October to fund AI infrastructure. Capital expenditure rose 73% year over year as the company scaled AI-powered personalization across its platforms. Volume-wise, that's why I show you some of these volume-wise, because right now, you see right here, it's kind of neutral. There's not much volume because the price action isn't doing much, okay? But volume-wise, it's 8.9 million. Market cap is at 1.6 trillion. And if you go down here to earnings, right here, dun dun dun. There's quarterly, there's annually. Yes, both are important, but it depends on which pieces of information you want and for what reason. If you're thinking more long-term, you want to look at annually. If you're thinking more short-term, quarterly might be helpful. It just depends on what your game plan, your strategy is. I'll show you both. So Q4, if you notice the blue bars is the amount that was actually received. The gray bars is the amount that was expected. So they received more than they were expecting, so Meta looks strong for that quarter. Here, the blue is much less. They received less than they were expecting, so they look weak for that quarter for earnings. Q2, again, the blue bar is higher. They look stronger than they were expecting to. Go over here to annually. Annually, right here, oh, they just missed it. Annually, right here, you'll see the blue bar is smaller. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The 23.49. Oh, no, yeah. So you gotta look at these numbers closely. The blue bar is higher than the expected part, 23.49, and the estimate was 22.92. So they actually got more than they were expecting, so it looks strong for the year. Same thing with 2024. It is higher. They look stronger for the year, and 2023 is also the same. It looks stronger for the year. Okay, so that's annually. So basically, to summarize, annually 2023, 2024, 2025, year over year for earnings, they looked stronger than they were expecting to. So why is that important? Because if you look stronger than you're expecting to for earnings, that means maybe investors invest more. That means a share price might go up. It depends on how the market reacts to the earnings report. Sometimes you can have good earnings and still it doesn't make a difference. It all depends on how the market reacts. Statements wise, you want to put that on the annual button right there, annually. Meta for revenue, gross profit, operating income, and pre-tax income and net income. Wow, all 3 years looking good, all in the green, except for net income on 2025. So again, that's looking good. In this case, for example, sometimes some companies will have good earnings and not so good statements. But in this case, Meta has good earnings overall and good statements overall. So yeah, there's that. Also, another one that we want to take a look at here is Google. Why are we taking a look at Google? Is because Google is also G-Fiber unit is combining Astound broadband and forming its independent fiber provider. It will be majority owned by Stone Peak, as it says right here. It becomes right here. It says its fiber internet unit called G-Fiber is combining Astound broadband and forming an independent provider. So there's that. Also, I wanted to show you this. Google has also, like we talked about Meta developing their own chips, Google has also been developing their own in-house silicon to fill data centers as they seek an alternative to cost, supply constrained GPUs from NVDA and AMD. So there's that. So let's take a look at Google right here. And we have Google on the 1 minute right here. Google, and then let me adjust the timing here so this makes more sense. And then adjust this, bring this down, bring this down, bring this up, right here. There's that. Okay, that's Google, and that's on the 1 minute. On the 1 day, if we go here to Google, hold on, let me erase this part and bring this chart down to where it makes more sense. There we go. This is Google on the 1 day, and here's Google on the 1 minute. So we can look at them both. Welcome to everyone who's joining. We're looking at Google right now on TradingView. You can see that the RSI relative strength index is sitting here at 61, and again, that's neither that's not higher, that's not low, that's not overbought, that's not oversold, but it is what it is. Yeah, and looking, so that's why you see right here it's going up a little bit. You see on the price chart it's going up a little bit there. If you can see that right there, the price chart's going up, so you can see relative strength index here is going up a little bit too. Okay, so the price chart oftentimes follows the relative strength index, and let's see, here, if you're looking for some chart patterns, this is the 1 minute. Let's see, let me show you this. Here we go. Let me put this on the 1 day. Maybe it'll be easier to see that way. For example, 1 day, 1 minute. Let's see. These patterns are sometimes not easy to see. They don't jump out very much sometimes, but you have to change the timing on them. And the more you change the timing and you zoom in and you zoom out, the more you'll be able to see them, okay? And for example, oh, here's one. For example, here, right here, you'll see right here is the reverse head, reverse head, and here's the left shoulder, right shoulder, and here's the neckline, and you'll see right here it does kind of break out and go up this way, if you see that. And there you go. And let's look at some more of these patterns. That's the ones that break out. Oh, here's one. For example, here's again, this is the 1 minute right here. Here's the double top. If you see that right there, double top, and then it goes down, okay? And then right over here, yeah, let's go to back to the 1 day, and see what jumps out over here. Oh, here's a good one. Right here, here's your double bottom right there. If you see my double bottom, and then it's a small breakout going up that way. Jack's way, hello. There we go. Now let's take a look over here. Let's go back again. That was Google. Let's go over here. Here you can see some of the trading volume right here. As you can see, the trading volume goes up when there's more price action right there. And it says Google closed a $32 billion deal to buy Wiz and folded it into Google Cloud. Wiz stays a brand. Its cloud security tools remain multi-cloud. Yeah, that's interesting. And right now, volume is at 13.3 million. Market cap is at 3.7 trillion. And if you look here at the earnings, right here, earnings, again, you have quarterly, you have annually. Let's take a look here at the annual part, because the annual will tell you more We can do quarterly, but it doesn't tell you as much, okay? So annually, right here, 2025, it talks about right here, the blue bar, which is what you actually was received on earnings, is higher than the expectations. So that looks strong. 2024, here also, it looks strong because the reported earnings were higher than the expected. 2023, the same thing. Reported was higher than expected. So for earnings, Google looks strong in that regard. Let's go here to statements. Annually, for the statements, how does Google look for revenue, gross profit, operating income, and net income? Well, for those things, the last 3 years, 2023, 2024, and 2025, all those categories are green going down, so that looks good right there. So that's Google right there. Now, we have to take a look at Amazon. Why are we going to take a look at Amazon? Because Amazon is in the news right now, as they often are, about their Zoox robotaxi, and they partnered with Uber. So let's talk about this one. Zoox partners with Uber to reach, again, these are my notes, not a script. I encourage all of you to take your notes as well. So Zoox partners with Uber to reach more robotaxi riders, first in Las Vegas, then in LA. Zoox is making its toaster shaped, as you can see right here. It's this kind of, you can see, it looks like a toaster. Imagine some bread going in. It looks exactly like a toaster. Toaster shaped self-driving vehicles available through Uber. Zoox deal with Uber is a sign of growing confidence in Amazon's ability to expand after years of development and remarks. The company's first tie-up with a third-party platform by the end of 2026. Uber aims to offer driverless rides in 15 cities. It already does in Atlanta, Austin, Phoenix, etc. But that's a little bit about Amazon and what they're doing and what their autonomous vehicle Zoox is doing. So let's check them out, okay? Welcome everyone to the channel where we talk about everything U.S. markets, headlines, and now we break them down also on TradingView. So let's go here to Amazon, and Amazon. Oh my goodness. Let me adjust the timing on this so it looks more reasonable. Here we go. This is the 1 minute chart. Okay, there's that. Here's the 1 minute chart, and this is Amazon on the 1 day chart. Let me clean this up for you right here. Amazon. So here's Amazon on the 1 day chart. Okay, here's Amazon on the 1 day chart, and look, here's Amazon on the 1 minute chart. You're looking at both. Let's see, Jennifer. Hold on 1 second. Did I miss your first comment? Jennifer, I'm not understanding my husband. I don't understand. Better? I'm not understanding. My husband will check it. I don't understand. Is that a question? Better? I'm not understanding. Okay. Is there a ticker? Did I miss your first question or first comment? Because I don't understand what you're actually trying to say. Anyway, if you do have a question or a ticker, let me know. And we'll go from there. So done. Amazon right here. If you're looking over here, relative strength index is right here. 41 definitely has room to run. It's almost neutral right there, and that's also what you see, for example, right here. I'll highlight this right here. Boom, and then boom. This is, for example, this area is known as the consolidation area, continuation area. And you see that in the price chart right there. It doesn't really move much, and that's what you're expecting in the neutral area right there. So this pattern is called consolidation or continuation. And then let me take you over here. As you can see, the RSI can go very, very oversold before it ever actually market corrects. Here it goes down all the way to 15. 15 in here, done. the price chart goes down, and that's also follows the RSI going down. Let me give you another price chart to look at, another chart pattern anyway. Here's one. If you go right here, here's this one, and here's this one. This is what we call a double top. They both go up to the same point, and then the second time it drops down. So here's your double top, and then bang, it drops down. And then if we go over, right here, here's one, for example. It's a good one. If you zoom in on this a little bit, here's one. Here's your bottom. Here's your bottom. And then right here is your neckline right here. So double bottom, here's your neckline, and then this is your neckline breakout right there, okay? You have double tops, you have double bottoms, and let me see right here. Again, this is on the 1 minute chart. We'll go to the 1 day chart in just a moment. Here's your double, here's your double top. Double top right there, you can see that, and then it goes down, double top breaks out and goes down. And then here's basically 1, 2, 3. There's your triple bottom, and then it does bottom and it does break out a little bit, not too much. Triple bottom and it breaks out a little bit, but not too much. And then done. Right here, there's your double top. Double top, see how it goes up to the same place, double top, and then bang, it goes down, okay? And also right here, this is an easy one to see. Here, right there, I circled it for you. Here's your double, it comes down, and the sellers lose momentum, it comes up, sellers can't keep it, and bang, the buyers take over right there. There's a good double bottom right there. And then right in here, here's your, here's a good one. Here's your head, left shoulder, right shoulder, kind of a slanted diagonal headline, neckline, I mean. You see that, how the neckline is kind of slanted? That's your neckline. And this one doesn't break out. That's what I mean. Sometimes these patterns exist, but they don't break out, okay? So there's that. Then let's go over here. That's the 1 minute chart. If you look on the 1 day chart, you'll see Amazon does look a bit different because the chart patterns will be different because they're based on 1 day times instead of 1 minute times. Depending on the chart that you want, you'll be able to see different chart patterns with a different time. Sometimes not. But yeah, there's that. So let's go on here. I've shown you several patterns here with this. Here is Amazon. Here's a small, you can't really see it very well, but here's a small one. Here's the head, here's the left shoulder, here's the right shoulder, head, left shoulder, right shoulder, and then a small breakout going down, but it's more difficult to see. Some of these are hard to see. And then let me show you this on Amazon right here to summarize right in here. Here is your volume. These are your volume bars. Okay, you see how these volume bars, 1, 2, 3, 4. These go. These higher bars right here, right here, right here, right here. Look at those volume bars in relation to the price charts. There, there, and see where there's more price action. What I want you to see is there's more price action here, so there's more volume trading on those places there, okay? And then, so right now, the volume is down because there's less, you see there's less price action here, so the volume went here all the way down. So right now, the volume is at 34.2 million. A little bit of a headline note, Amazon launched an 11-part US bond sale to raise about $378 billion for AI infrastructure. U.S. demand peaked near 126 billion. Market cap right now is 2.28 trillion. If we go here to quarterly and annually earnings, again, it's more beneficial, interesting usually to look at the annual part, but you can also look at the quarterly part if you're in this for very short term. It all depends on what your goals are. Okay, so quarterly for Amazon, as you can see, it just missed the expectations. Now over here on Q3, it beat expectations. Q2 also beat expectations. Annually, 2025, it beat expectations. 2024 also beat expectations. 2023 also beat expectations. So there was a bad quarter in there, but it doesn't matter. The year overall as a whole, they beat expectations annually. Okay, now that's expectations. You also want to look at statements, because earnings are great. You can show that you have good positive earnings, but what about, does it show up as profit? Does it show up as income? How does it show up? And that's one thing we can talk about right here. Statements. So here we go, looking at statements. Hit the annual button, and this is for Amazon. You'll see that 2023, 2024, 2025, all three of those years right there, we're all in the green for revenue, profits, and income. So that's looking good. So Amazon has good earnings and good statements right now. So bear that in mind. Now, for example, we also talked about the CPI. This is in the news, just to be aware of. CPI, Consumer Price Index, or sometimes people call it the CPI because they don't believe it. Basically, it rose 2.4% annually, and it was a small. The rent rose 0.1%, smallest increase since January 2021. Food prices accelerated by 0.4%, and we're up 3.1% from a year ago. Egg prices fell 3.8%, putting an annual drop at 42.1%. Apparel had a 1.3 monthly gain. Again, take those numbers as what you will. I'm just reading the headlines, just making you aware of them. Are they really true? I'm not so sure, but you're welcome to use information as you wish. Now, another one that we're going to talk about is, where is it? Accumulation. What is Accumulation? Accumulation, let me check this out. What is Accumulation? Accumulation, yes. Accumulation is a leading Australian-American software company that creates products for software development, IT, and project management teams. Their tools, including Jira, Confluence, and Trello, are designed to improve teamwork, speed up development, and manage IT services. So that's that. And let's go over here to, where is it? Accumulation. Why is Accumulation in the news? Because they just slashed 10% of the workforce to self-fund investments in AI and enterprise sales. Okay, let's talk about this. So 10% basically accounts for about 1,600 jobs, and they're needing to self-fund investments in AI. Basically, their company lost more than half their value. Company shares lost more than half their value this year, and part of the software sell-off sparked by AI. Their stock just jumped up 1%. But yeah, AI is changing the world, and we got to figure out how to get in on it. Right here, if you see this, yeah, we're doing this to self-fund further investments in AI and enterprise sales while strengthening our financial profile, CEO Mike Cannon-Brookes said in a blog post. Jacksway, what's the name of that again? Oh, okay, perfect. If you this is Accumulation. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but there it is. The Accumulation. Here, it's the Australian American software company. And let me give you, where's the, here it is, Accumulation right there. Let me see if I can find the ticker for it. Accumulation, here we go. Accumulation, ticker symbol is team. The team is the ticker symbol. Boom, right there. Cool, no problem, Jacksway. And I'm gonna try to adjust these times on my charts so they can make more sense and be readable. Here's that. If you have questions about TradingView or what I'm looking at, or if you want to analyze something, let me know. Here we go. This is the 1 minute chart, and this is the 1 day chart. Here we go. 1 second here. And got it. There's the 1 day chart. But yeah, that's it. At least actually, I gotta jump off of here, but I'll be back later. Just tune in later, and we can go over more of these. I'll be back with some more headlines. But for all of you watching, and for all of you that made a comment or something or have a question, I'll see you in a bit. See you Jack's way.